I just did such a good intro. You guys have no idea how delicious that was. And now I have sound. So I'm going to be... Anyways, late is better than never, guys. You know what I mean? Welcome to episode 8 of Break the Cycle. We are in week 4. Week 4. That's super cool. I think the only thing I've ever committed to that hard was LNC chair runs. I like to call myself the Dallas Cowboys of LNC chair runs. In fact, it's always going to be next year. I'm always going to get them next year. But anyways, I'm really proud of you guys for showing up for week 4 of this horrible podcast that continues to have issues. But let's start off with some great sponsors. Lorenzotti.coffee, all your delicious Italian coffee needs delivered directly to your door. Bring the taste of Italy home, man. You can't go wrong. Also, Top Lobster. The man, toplobster.com is where you can get this wonderful High on the Ideas of Liberty Ron Paul hoodie, psychedelic. He's awesome. If you use BTC at checkout, you can get a 10% discount. And Anthem Planning. Anthem Planning Inc. helps clients prepare for and navigate crisis. They specialize in emergency communications and emergency management projects. They're essentially taking on a job that the government would love to take from you. So use them for your business. They are awesome, great people, part of the Mises Caucus. You can't go wrong. So now that we have audio and everything's going better, once again, thank you guys so much for showing up. But we have an amazing guest tonight, and he is having some audio problems. I take that back. Skype is having some audio problems with our guest tonight. So he won't be using his normal perfect mic. His silky voice might be a little bit different than you're used to tonight, but that's okay because he is the most hated man in Georgia by Senate Republicans. He is running for governor of Georgia. He is an American patriot, badass veteran. His name is Shane. Hazel, how the hell are you doing tonight, sir?
What's up, brother? You hear me? Is it coming through?
Everyone can hear you, man. I promise you, everyone can hear you.
Nice and silky over this shitty fucking Mac mic. Fuck, dude. I hate Skype.
Dude, I'm so sorry, man.
You want me amped up? Like, get me mad at something. I'm fucking mad at Skype. Let's fucking rip, dude. I mean, holy shit. Why not, right?
I love it, bro. Hey, listen. Every time we get together, man, we spit fire. It's like one of my favorite people to talk to in this entire movement. No one hypes me. I mean, your intro to your podcast hypes me up. Oh, by the way, that was another part of the intro that I totally forgot. He is the mouthpiece behind the Radical podcast. It's great.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't heard it, it's amazing. And it's got way better audio than he has right now. I've heard it several times.
Yeah, it's much better audio on the podcast.
Yeah, that's okay.
Gosh, hey, man, thanks for giving me a platform to come on and hang out and drink beer and do other drugs and whatever else, man. Like
other drugs. Hey, you live in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. It's going to take the ATF agents a lot of time to get there.
Caffeine, everything. Like, listen, everything that's not natural, is not water, is a fucking drug of some sort. So we're all good.
Hell yeah, man. So hey, man, I think that's a pretty good synopsis of you. I mean, you are the most hated man by Senate Republicans, dude.
I think the Democrats love me to death right now. I'm really hoping they come through in this governor elections.
Yeah.
Show up big. Yeah, that guy Shane, he's not a fucking bad guy. Like, look, man, he helped, expose who the Republicans are, and there was no difference between them and Ossoff. So who gives a shit? So, yeah, man, there's a lot of hate and animosity here in Georgia. Being a Marine, we let this shit roll off our fucking back, right? Like, I don't really care what the loser fucking brigade, the crybaby bitches out there. I don't care. Like, I am beyond giving any fucks about what these people, feelings are in terms of the Senate, in terms of the Republicans, in terms of the president. Like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm drawing lines in sand. Like, I am done with this whole fucking thing, Josh. You were saying last week that, hey, you wanted me to come in and, fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin it. Fucking, this week has been that fucking week, man. I mean, I am fucking done.
So, Marines, things rolling off backs. Where were we going? Oh, your governor race, man. Your gubernatorial race. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, man.
I've been watching you online, okay? And we talked a little bit about this, and we've been talking a little bit about this on your show last week. You don't give a fuck. You literally don't. You are calling politicians bitches online. You're punks, and you just don't give a shit. What is it? What is it that you want to change in Georgia, man? What are you looking to do there?
Man, I think it's pretty simple. My shtick is super knuckle dragger. I want to leave people the fuck alone. Like, I'm literally like the whole shirt where he's got the globe and he's spinning the world and he's got the 1950s haircut and tie and jacket on. Like, our plan is to take over Georgia and leave everybody the fuck alone. That means ending the lockdowns, reforming criminal justice, getting the bureaus and COVID regulations out of our lives, out of our businesses, out of public areas, changing money. I mean, opening up agriculture, our number one industry. I have got so many damn plans and policies just ready to push out into Georgia right now. And I don't think there's any way that these fucks can stop it because, they tried, right? Like, they tried on a $0 Senate budget and we still hammered them. And on top of it, hey, for the press corps and everybody else that's in, radio, that's in TV, that's in ad space and everything else, I brought you, the libertarians brought you $200 million extra dollars in 2020 and in early 2021, where that money would have never existed. The amount of spike that these guys got out of that campaign, the fact that they had to go to a runoff, man, these guys should be running free ads and puff pieces on libertarians for decades to come because of this shit. Oh. And it's going to happen again, no matter what. Like, it's going to happen. Like, the Georgia governor's race is going to go to a runoff, and it's going to happen again. And that's going to be $400 million that we bring into a state, and it's going to be done on the cheap, man. Like, that's part of my vision in terms of, listen, guys, all you need is a message and some attitude and some big steel clanking brass between your legs. Sit there and say, enough's enough. Like, we're done. Like, we are going to empower people and inspire them, man. Like, that's where we're at.
And women, you can have big brass clanking between your legs too. It's okay. We are not bigots on this show here. Okay. I just want everyone to understand. We think everyone can have balls. So
listen, there are females in this space that absolutely have the attitude to go out there and be. I mean, listen, if we don't recognize that there are alphas in the libertarian movement, especially the Mises Caucus, man, you're kidding yourself. A lot of these ladies are more alpha than most of the alpha dudes out there. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
I love it.
Could you imagine how tough you have to be a libertarian woman? I mean, let's be honest here.
I mean, seriously. Oh my God, I don't like her hair. I don't like her makeup. Oh my God, does she even wear makeup? And she's probably gained a few pounds. And how many kids does she have? Oh, she doesn't have Can you imagine the catty bullshit that you just got to be like, nah, fuck it. Like, as a female, like that's got to just kind of wear on you a bit, huh?
Yeah, it would for me too. I mean, as men, we're kind of just like, oh, look at that fat fuck. It's cool.
Yeah,
nice to see you.
Yeah, you're another fat pill fucker. Like,
yeah, man. Especially military guys like us, dude. I mean, you know how it is. I don't know what you were shipboard Marine. Were you like a squadron guy?
So no, man, I was in First Force Reconnaissance Company. I was
Oh shit.
a man. So I did some shit, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah. I
was
was just on a ship. So we
for
played fucking spades, dude. You know what I mean? All
oh,
the
you
time.
motherfuckers! I'll tell you what, you guys taught me how to play spades and dominoes. And
Yeah.
one of the funniest things about a ship is like you can always hear the dudes down in the galley playing fucking dominoes because anytime somebody scores some big points or something, you hear this domino crack that table, and you hear domino, motherfucker, every time.
Oh
But,
yeah,
man,
dude. And those guys are just waiting around for the galley to close so they can get like the good Filipino food after it's over because
that's
all
right.
the chefs are like making their own shit. Oh man, the good old
Filipino
days.
mafia.
Let me tell you how much I miss being in the middle of the sea with 5,500 other guys. Let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. I spent, I had my Truex periods and we had our at sea periods where you'll go out for a couple weeks, maybe a month at a time on a ship getting ready for deployment. And then we went on deployment, but my deployment was supposed to be a Westpac, right? Like leave San Diego, come in and, stop at Hawaii and Guam and Singapore and Australia and maybe do like an Indian tour and stop in Seychelles and a couple other badass islands and stuff. Man, we went straight to the Middle East. They dropped us off. I never saw that fucking boat again. I was like, you guys want to not have me on a boat? Perfect. I would much rather not be on a boat ever again like that. I hate boats.
That's what it was. You told me you were on a LHD, and that's why I was like, oh, he was on a
LHD,
show. Huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have a funny story like that too. When I joined the Navy, I went to boot camp. I went to school, and this is all right after 9/11 sometime, and then I went straight to the USS Constellation. It was the oldest carrier in the fleet. They were gonna decom it. We were in port for 3 weeks before we pulled out for what was supposed to be a world cruise, year long, all the way around, med cruise and Westpac. Right, we we're gonna get to go all these countries for a whole year. So we did Hong Kong, Singapore, transited the Straits of Hormuz to the Persian Gulf, and then George Bush declared war. And that's where we sat for the next 7 months. And I'm like, fuck you. I was, in 18, 19. I'm like, yes, this is, oh no, and I think we went to Bahrain twice, like the 6 months we were there. We had 2 beer days back to back. Oh, dude, it was rough. And then we were getting ready to come home, and our CO comes on the 1MC. He's like, I would be doing a disservice to our great country by just dropping you animals back off in the United States. So we're going to take a trip to Australia on the way home. And I was like, hey, fair, let's do it. And it was a good time,
Where did you stop over there?
Perth.
Oh, right on, man. That's one part of Australia I've not been to that I've always wanted to get to.
Perth
seems like the most desolate place in Australia.
Oh, it was super down to earth. It's like a big city, but it's like down. It's not like Sydney where it looks like it'd be all hoity-toity. I mean, everyone's down to earth. The bars closed from like 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. for them to clean up and then reopen. You know what I mean? It was wild, dude. It was a wild place. They had some really cool shopping malls, and it was just a fun time. But I was a kid, and like you're able to drink over there, so it was a lot of fun. Hong Kong, Singapore, and then the shock and awe campaign, which that was 6 months of my life or something, 7 months of my life, just sitting there in the Gulf.
Can we talk about something very related to that for a second? Have you seen the 6 Days in Fallujah fucking game?
I have not, no.
Dude, so I was in Fallujah, part 2, November of 2004, and like they have this thing out there on IGN right now, and I don't know who tagged me in it, but somebody tagged me and got my attention. I was like, oh shit, like they made a game about 6 Days in Fallujah, and what they did kind of for this thing is they made the game every time you play it change configuration so that it won't ever be the same game. So like every time you're going through it, it's different door kicking and all this other kind of stuff. And I was just like I'm not part of the fucking cancel culture. I hate that kind of shit. But it was one of those things where it's like, guys, this is pretty fucking poor taste. Like we're still in Iraq. We've got guys that are like 40 fucking years old and younger that were part of this whole thing. And you guys are going to make a game out of like good guy, bad guy kind of stuff where we're blowing, Iraqis' heads off, which, like, I don't know, man. It kind of just made me sick.
Sure.
I got fucking flack for it. I was like, I didn't say cancel it. I didn't say don't make it. I didn't say don't play it. I said this is fucking poor taste. It's probably my cleanest tweet in the last 2 years. Right? And like, oh, did you kill some babies over there? I hope you fucking dream about dead babies. And like, I mean, just peace. Like, god damn, man. Like, yes, like this is what I can't stand about, I don't know, Twitter and social media and shit. It's just like, hey, you make a fucking fair point all day long, and somebody's just like, no, man, fuck you, you suck.
Someone's always gonna find a way, bro. Like life finds a way, you know.
Yeah, you may say, hey, man, I love puppies. And like, fuck you, man. I'm a cat person.
Cats are way better, you piece of shit.
Yeah. What are you, Hitler?
Yeah, dude.
Right?
It's wild, man. You know, the shock and awe campaign is largely the reason why I started becoming anti-war. You know, I was a part of that, and we had a second galley on the carrier. You know, they had two on the big ships have two, and they actually shut one down and started putting together ordnance in this galley because that's how much ordnance we were dropping. They were having to build it as they were dropping it. I say build it. It wasn't like a bomb making station. It was like
they're arming, yeah.
Yeah, they're like putting it together, right? And at first it was these big rolls of like leaflets that were like, you know, get the fuck out of your house. We're going to start bombing. And they're dropping thousands of these on Baghdad. And I'm scratching my head. First of all, I'm scratching my fucking head because why the hell are we in Iraq? You know what I mean? I joined after 9/11. I'm like, we're going to go after these Saudi nationals via Pakistan who attacked our country. And now I'm in Iraq, and I'm going, why the fuck are we in Iraq for? What happened here, you know? And now we're dropping these leaflets on a huge city full of people and, you know, kids and family pets and all this shit. And I'm going, I don't want to do this anymore, man. You know what I mean? And then I got home, and I was just jaded as fuck. And I'm sure you had some much worse experience than I did. But
yeah, you know, tons and tons of direct action raids and just direct action in general. And then on top of it, you know, the battles of Najaf and Diwania and Fallujah. Like, I mean, just and the thing is like, you know, at the time we were the special operations of the Marine Corps. And so anytime anything happened in those AOs, man, it was just like, fuck, you guys are going. And so our op tempo is like, man, every night, every other night you're going out. I mean, Muqtada al-Sadr was one of our targets. We went and rounded up all of his dudes, his lieutenants and all that kind of stuff. And he fucked off to, you know, Iran. But it was like, hey, why the fuck are we, like, you guys were telling us how oppressed the Shiites were. This guy's a fucking leader of the Shiites. And we went into Najaf and like him and the Mahdi militia, instead of like making friends with these people, we kicked the shit out of them. Like the first night the Marines were in control in like the beginning of August, man, the CAT team, the Combined Arms and Tactics team with the TOW missiles and the Mark 19s and the 50 cals, man, they go down and they just start, you know, like laying into Muqtada al-Sadr's place. And you're like, well, all right. That took a whole 15 minutes from the change of command to say, hey, man, we got troops in contact. And then it was just on. So I don't know, like it was a fast paced 4 years, 2 deployments and all that fun stuff. And like, you know, I definitely, you know, it was one of those things where I was just such a high op tempo person without empathy for such a long time. Right. And so I came back, I adjusted, I did very well in the business world and all that fun stuff. And it's just, I don't know, like, you know, you don't, it catches up later with you when you discover cannabis and things like that. Right. Where like, you start to find some empathy again, and you go, man, I was really, really a tin man. Like I don't know. You figure it out after a while, and then you apologize to your wife and kids and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna do better. Like I swear to God, like I'm gonna soften up. I'm gonna take off some corners. Maybe use some 220 grit after we get done, like sanding this thing down a little bit. It is what it is, man. I all you can do now is just tell all those, you know, kids that want to go out there and join the military, like, look, man, fucking fight's here. You want to do something for your country? Don't fucking think that those guys are going to put you to good use. That's the government corporate banking cabal, and they're a bunch of fucking murderers and pedos and thieves, and they're going to send you out and do atrocious things. It's going to wreak havoc on your mental stability, and don't do it. Fight fucking here, fight for liberty, and do it here on American soil. You'll be more than a patriot than anybody that ever signed up for the Marine Corps.
Yeah, I actually, if you remember my campaign video for my campaign last year, I there's a screen that changes to fight the real enemy, and then it shows, you know, the Capitol building, and I got a lot of shit for it back then. Now people are like, after the big bad insurrection, you know, where they open the doors and let people come in and check out the gift shop for a couple of minutes. he's like, now people are like, oh, the real enemy, huh? And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. Do you see what's going on around you? Do you see what is going on around you? They have you locked in your home. They have you putting double diapers on your face. They're telling you have to take an mRNA envelope that had 2 months of testing. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting real out here, man.
Dude. And what did we say was going to happen? We said, this is not going to fucking end. Liberty never comes back without a fight. And this is going to turn into a social credit score like they did in China. I called this back in like 2018. And it's just like, this is coming. And when, they launched this week somewhere, like, I think it was Europe. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to have like health passports, right? You either have to have a negative COVID test or you've got to have some vaccine papers. Like, you need to share your health with anybody and everybody that's out there. And the biggest kick in the fucking nuts is, hey guys, like, if you're getting fucking vaccines and wearing masks that fucking work, why are you worried about people that aren't?
Right.
What do you want those motherfuckers that you hate so much to die off anyway? Like, oh, okay, you know what? That guy, like, I hope he gets COVID. I hope he fucking dies. I hope, him and his family are destitute and the pieces of shit that they are in life, that are calling for peace and harmony and no taxes and criminal justice reform. I hope that family fucking dies. That's who these people are, and they don't even understand. And you're sitting there just saying, fucking A, guys, like, if your shit works and you're so fucking sure of your goddamn vaccines and your bullshit fucking diapers on your face, and your anal swabs, like, if you think we're paranoid, like, cool, man, let us fucking die off. You'll be a better species when we're fucking gone. Like, I don't know.
Imagine a fucking anal swab for an upper respiratory infection, Shane. I mean, seriously.
Who sits there and goes, like, seriously, if there's a group of us sitting around, Josh, to be like, all right, not it, right? Like,
yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
They're going to have to drag me in there kicking and screaming.
Like, I got my first colonoscopy like 5 years ago. They had to put me to fucking sleep. It's the only way. You know what I mean? It's the only way. There's no way you're putting a toothpick up my ass to check for a respiratory illness. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. These people.
Might as well take a toenail clipping.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to stick swabs up your ass to check for a respiratory illness, and you're like, the fight's in the Middle East. No, motherfucker, the fight's right here. They're literally trying to put it in your ass.
Oh man, and that's why I was saying it with our buddy Matt Struck the other day. I was like, like when fucking Fauci goes out there and says, wear 2 masks, and then he gets off the stage and there's no cameras on him. He's high-fiving people and he delivers like they're like, dude, did you see it? I just said wear 2 fucking masks, and everybody's like, okay, I'll wear 2 fucking masks. Like, oh my God, the fucking young kids doing it too. And it's like,
yeah. Well, this guy at work today, we got in this like super deep conversation. You don't have a lot of time at work. We got in this super deep conversation, and he's like, yeah, I was watching this movie about the AIDS epidemic, and it was like, this one doctor was saying, we have to treat something this way, and it's the only way we can treat this thing. And then the other guy was like a good scientist, was like, no, this is going to kill people. And then all these people started dying. I was like, that's a true story about Dr. Fauci. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, what? And I'm like, yeah, he's the one that pushed AZT. He's the one that killed a bunch of people with HIV and AIDS. And now you're trusting him with COVID.
There's literally MI6 guys on tape from the 90s. Tape, not digital recording, fucking tape going, listen, when they were talking about sickle cell anemia and all the shit that was going, typhoid and fucking stuff that was running through Africa, and they launched this gigantic vaccination program, guess what happened? As soon as they launched it, what happened? Fucking HIV AIDS, rampant through Africa. And you're just sitting there going like, yeah, man, this is how, these are the fuckers we're playing with. Yeah. This is the game. They don't give a shit if you die, if you live, if you're enslaved. They don't care, man. And I'll tell you what's really funny is, like, I don't know if you remember back in the day, there used to be this, it was not called the comfort index. It was what the hell was that? Ridiculous index that they had. Basically, it was, how do people feel like they're being treated, right? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, or a scale of 1 to 100, like, how is the American populace feeling in terms of, like, life is pretty fair, right? And that's how they used to measure it. And God, forgive me for not remembering the name of that index.
We'll just call it the misery index for now, okay?
Basically, and like now it seems like they're like, oh yeah, that index over there, like, nah, we don't give a fuck about that index anymore.
No.
Like it's just straight up tyranny. Like, guys, you got to have some management skills here. You know, if you're gonna be tyrants, that soft tyranny shit that you guys were doing from I don't know, like ever until I don't know last year, like it kind of worked here in America. Like everybody was quality of life index, and so yeah. Now it's like, no man, that facade's kind of fucking worn off. It's really really thin.
Well, I think the biggest con job that the federal government's ever pulled on America is that making people think that they're actually there to serve them or help them or care about them because they don't give a shit about you.
They don't care. Unless you are furthering their political desires and their power, like they don't care about you. They don't give a damn. Like Republicans, Democrats, listen, if you start with the premise that these guys are murderers and thieves and now add to that pedos, right? Like, why would you ever let them have any control over every facet of your life? Now, extend that to every peaceful person that you know and say, why would you ever let murderers and thieves and pedos have a monopoly on force over peaceful fucking people? Stop making laws, in other words. Stop saying, well, there ought to be a fucking law, there ought to be a policy, there ought to be a bureau for some bullshit organization for the government. Like, no, 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 no. We'll figure it out. If people want it, they'll pay for it.
Yep. You should never, as a normal, everyday citizen, you should never push for a law that you yourself are not willing to kill someone for. Period. Plain and simple.
Bam!
Plain and simple.
Josh Smith. Everybody, this is why you have a growing show, man. This is you're going to do amazing things with this show. Like, yes, if you're not willing to go out and shoot somebody for the crime that you want on the books, you shouldn't pass that damn thing.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And I'll tell you what, the politicians aren't willing to do it. You know who's going to do it, Republicans? Guess who's going to do it? It's the cops.
Bad boy.
Yeah. In case anyone was wondering, it's the police. They're the ones that are going to take your guns with a smile on their face. When they pass all these gun laws, they're going to do it with a smile on their face because as much as you say they uphold the Constitution, they fucking don't. They break. We talked about this with Drew Hancock on Wednesday. You know, cops constantly overstep the Constitution with a smile on their face every single day. And it's amazing to me that the conservatives in this country are so pro-police. It's just amazing to me. It blows my mind. I don't understand it.
What further blows my mind is when you think about it and you just go, listen, these fucks that hang out and take people's money and fuck people in the ass on a regular basis, right? Like they're in the assembly or Congress or whatever your state, bicameral type republic is, right? These are not special people. They don't have fucking special powers. They are normal people. So normal people don't have any power to sit there and say, hey, you guys over there with guns and stupid uniforms and badges and blacked out cars and shit, like you now have the power to go over there and take those people's shit or throw them in a cage or possibly even kill them.
A violent rape cage, I like to call it.
Yeah. When people start to think about this in the, I don't know, just a different sense than they were indoctrinated by the state. Like you just start saying, listen, man, if a group of people in your neighborhood got together and said, yeah, man, we're going to have like 2 or 3 guys in this neighborhood that have guns and costumes, and we're going to send them over to your house when your fucking grass is too long, and they're going to shoot you in the face, or they're going to cage you, or they're going to shoot your dog, or they're going to, take your stuff. Like everybody would be like, fuck, dude. But because they get together and they gather once a year, once every 2 years underneath some giant granite marbly piece of shit, cathedral dome.
That's the holy place, bro. Calm down.
Dude.
That's the holy place.
I know, man. It's so fucking weird. It's like people have elevated government to the state of, or I should say just to the faith level, to this all-powerful, almost celestial type being, and you're sitting there going, man, you guys don't know shit about history. Like
nothing whatsoever.
Fucking zero.
Well, that's the problem. I talked about this the other day too. It's like 70% of the people in this country have no fucking clue what's going on. They don't know. They have no idea.
No.
They've never paid attention to history. They don't pay attention to current events. They don't pay attention to the politicians they vote for. And it's like, those are the people that are voting. I mean, legitimately, those are the people that are voting, and they're voting every day on some emotional feels. They're not voting based on history and logic and what's just and right. You know, it's insane to me.
And as an anti-federalist, I can't stand the Constitution because everybody's, and listen, here's some wiggle room for you guys that are just not as far down the line as I am with this bullshit state yet, right? Like, I understand I went from being a neocon to like being a autistic constitutionalist to an autistic anti-federalist, right? Like, and that's like, well, guys, like when you read the Anti-Federalist and the shit that they said was prophetic, and you're going, no, that like there was a large group of people that were farmers and craftsmen that were not part of like the banking, political elite and trade elite and stuff like that had, more money than, God back then. And we're like, guys, this is not good. Don't centralize power. What they're doing is using fear-based tactics to divide you, to tell you that, as a country, in states, we can't fend off foreign invaders and that the debt's going to cripple us, and like the Indians, like everything that they could possibly fucking do in terms of, making sure people were scared and then divided. They did it. And then they said, okay, we'll give it to you on the basis that you, as your first act, you adopt the first 10 amendments, obviously the Bill of Rights. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, I wish they would have listened to those guys. Do you know how many states had figured out, that slavery wasn't going to be a fucking thing already? They're like, nah, we don't want to join your constitutional republic because it's going to push us backwards in time, where women and people with melanated skin are not allowed to vote, not allowed to have property. They're second fucking class citizens. They're like, fuck, dude, I don't want to fucking do this. Like places like Rhode Island, they got ran over because they were small.
Right.
And
they're still small. They're still fucking small. You can walk across that state in 25 minutes, dude.
Touche.
But goddamn, have you ever had a stuffy?
I have, man. Actually,
dude, seriously, you've had a stuffy? It's the best
man.
shit. Best shit. I love you, Rhode Island. I do, except for your weird democratic policies. But the state's cool.
Yeah, people. I mean, that's the thing. Most people are cool. Most people, everywhere you go, are pretty chill people, man. It's just like we got to reach out and find some more avenues. I was talking to my buddy Chris G the other day. His specialty is music, right? It's like, how do we keep reaching out and finding, I don't know, kite surfers and fucking people that do claymation? I don't know. Like, just we don't have enough damn time in this world. We need more people doing podcasts, more people that are articulate in liberty, who have just a big old rager for this kind of stuff. And we can, go out there and, touch people like Joe Biden touches people, but like go out there and just plant that seed of liberty so that people
once again, women can have a rager too. We're not bigots on this show. Okay. We understand that women's can have ragers too.
I love women. I'm married to one. I had one, for God's sakes. Like, they change your life for the better.
Yeah. It's gone both ways for me, Shane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing better now.
They're not all good.
Yeah, I'm doing much better now. I have a wonderful lady who takes wonderful care of me and our kids, and even though I'm working back to back 12s.
Still working.
Still, yeah. And the show. But I love the show. This is fun for me, right? Of course, someday I'd like to be able to get paid like legitimately to do this show. But right now, I mean, it's just fun. It's just a good time. I got the awesomest lineup I could possibly imagine. You know what I mean? I got great people like Shane Hazel. And so it's fun for me. I get to sit down twice a week and talk to, all the coolest people in the movement. I'm not mad about that,
No, and the thing, money will come. Like, I was thinking about that the other night, man. Like, I still haven't monetized my show, and I've been I had some reasons for that. But I'll tell you, like when I look at life, like I feel pretty comfortable, and it's like, I think at a certain point when you sit back and you recognize and go, all right, listen, I don't need more stuff. I don't need more land. Like, what I need to do is start putting it into people and growing ideas and growing movements. And like, I wish more people thought like that, man. Like I really like yourself. Like when it hits and you say, nope, look, my life is great the way it is. We're going to take everything excess from this point and we are going to put it into something that it is not. It's like when I finally turn that switch, man, like that stuff is going to people, and it's like I can't wait to show people what we're going to do. It's going to be awesome.
Sure, I agree with you, man. You know, I keep telling everyone I'm gray-pilled, right? Like I'm kind of skeptical of the ends, but I'm going to continue with the means because I feel like it's a good path forward as far as using the political system. I know I'd like to tell everyone I'm an anarchist and I believe in those principles and philosophy of anarcho-capitalism. And, I definitely, if I had a Murray Rothbard button here on my stream deck right here, I would definitely press the Murray Rothbard button and get rid of the federal government today. But I also think that, we should be using every tool in our toolbox. I said that in my debate with Larkin Rose. I've said that in a bunch of podcasts. I think it's just another tool in the toolbox. But speaking of movements, the fucking Mises Caucus, huh?
Bro.
Dude.
Like Michael Heiss, MVP, a couple of years running. Like, I mean, without Michael Heiss, this shit doesn't work, man. Because I'll tell you right now, like the administrative stuff that guy does and has autistic powers times 10 for, like, I don't get it. Like, I can't do it. I don't like it. It was, it was one of those things where, like, I said, hey, man, here's everybody in the state of Georgia that has, helped me along the way. Like, here's my email list.
Yeah.
Please, like, do something good with this, because I don't like asking people for, like, Mike Heiss, this movement. I mean, yourself, the fact that we've got, Angela, who's going to be running for chair, who is running for chair, between Dave and Tom and Scott Horton, and like this movement. I mean, I think we even got the Michaels from the 10th Amendment Center.
Yeah, Michael Bolden for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
But he's not a libertarian, though. He stays nonpartisan, buddy.
Dude, that guy.
He's one of my favorite people in the world. He's going to be on my show in a couple weeks. He's one of my favorite dudes.
He's a Mises guy all the way.
Yeah. I mean, he supports the mission. He's a big nullification guy, and he's looking at a bunch of hardcore radical libertarians trying to take over the country.
And we got guys coming up in the ranks too. Like, and this is the thing, is like, these guys are going to crush it. The guys from Typo and Luke from Biting the Bullet are going to crush it. The Matt Struck from Why Libertarian, Liberty Lockdown. Clint, yeah, man. Like,
love that guy.
These guys, that's the thing, is this is happening. You cannot deny that it's happening. There are more people. There's more energy. There's just, it's fire, and like, people are fucking ready for the fight, man. And it's so gratifying to see it. I love it.
Well, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for me, especially me, because you talk about Michael Heiss, and I go back to 2017. Okay. And it's Michael Heiss in a Facebook group called the Mises Caucus with about 65 people, right? And I joined the group, and I immediately I'm like, Mises fucking, I'm running for chair. This was my first run. And I'm like, Mises Caucus. Oh, dude, this is my place. These are my brothers. This is my place, right? So I'm emailing Michael every day. Hey man, I'd love to have your guys' endorsement. And then he's like, oh, we'll think about it. And then all of a sudden, I just start spamming the shit out of the group, right? Hey guys, how about you? I'm a Mises Rothbard libertarian running for chair of the party. We got to change this shit. Nicholas Sarwark sucks. This. And finally, as this thing is growing while this is happening, and finally they're like, all right, man, you know what? We're going to endorse you. And then I started traveling, and I went to 25 states, and, he was at home doing the administrative stuff, dude. He was at home building the email lists. He was at home calling people, organizing states with Jeff and the board, all these great people on the board. And I was out with the Mises Caucus moniker on my back like a target, traveling to these conventions. And
before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was cool. Every convention I went to, there was like maybe one, maybe two people who were like supportive of the Mises Caucus. And we showed up to the national. Yeah, right. And then we show up to the national convention, right? And I got just completely trashed, right? I think I got 163 votes. But I didn't fucking stop, dude, right? I just kept going. I went to 40 states. And Mike was still at home doing administrative stuff, and Jeff was still organizing states. And I'm watching this thing grow, dude, and I'm going, wow, We weren't pulling in any money at the beginning of that, and now they're pulling in $14,000 a month. Now they got almost all 50 states organized. Now they got all these people 2 years early that want to be delegates to the national convention. And I'm just like, I'm not running for chair anymore. I dropped out of the chair race. I think Angela's going to be amazing. And I'm fucking excited to see what happens in 2022 in Reno with the Mises Caucus, man. Excited.
I'll tell you what, man, you laid a lot of groundwork. And, I know Angela recognizes that, man. Like it was, I mean, when I met you down here last year at the convention, there was a buzz and there was energy. And you're just like, man, I don't give a damn. Like this is the way it has to be going forward. Like we need that BDE or B, whatever. Yeah. Like we
don't be a bigot.
We got to have this kind of we got to have these guys that are just straight flamethrowers, right? And we love you. And, I know there's some struggles right now. We got some weird, I think plants in this party that are trying to divide some shit up. But listen, those guys are going to get left. They're going to be nobody's here in no time at all. And I'll tell you what, man, this story is unfolding, and it's a really cool thing to kind of, look at and, kind of be able to smile and be like, look what people are doing, man. Like, look who's coming in. And we're just getting that's the thing is we're starting to even grab the attention of those very quiet people who have hung out in places like Hollywood, that have hung out in tech spaces like Elon. And you're just sitting there going wow, this is really something.
It's a fucking movement, dude. It's like a real movement. It's what the Libertarian Party should have been doing for the last 50 years.
I want to know who the Mises Caucus personnel are going to be that grab Elon Musk. Get us Elon. Somebody go get us a line with Elon Musk and let's have that conversation. Because I guarantee you, given the opportunity, Elon's going to listen. He'll sit there and be like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Can I hit that blunt? Sure. Yeah. Here we go. Let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
Nice. It's nice.
Tom Woods, Dave Smith, Michael Malice, if any of you are listening. Yeah, Michael Malice is watching my show right now. Every Friday, I'm sure that Michael Malice sits down to watch Joshua.
Yeah, he's tuning in.
Yeah.
He's tweeting about it right now.
If you guys hear us, get a hold of Elon. Let's do this. Let's have this talk, man. Maybe in a couple months I'll be big enough to get him on the show. Who knows?
I don't know, man. If there's enough call from enough people in this movement, why the fuck not? Why would you not talk to these guys that are talking about diamond hands and crypto and SpaceX and Starlink and the fucking future? Seriously.
Well, that's what I've been saying.
That's what we're talking about.
I've been saying that for 4 years too. Bitcoin.com wrote an article about me in 2017 because I was trying to bring the crypto space to the Libertarian Party. That was part of the plan with the Mises Caucus. That's how we got the crypto committee started for the caucus. That was supposed to be something really awesome. Of course, Nick Sarwark and the people who populated that committee really fucked it up. Shockingly enough, Nicholas Sarwark had a hand in fucking that thing up. But it could have been something good, and it should. The crypto space is largely libertarian. They're pushing they're pushing decentralized currency that circumvents the federal government. They don't want the government reaching their hands into their fucking wallets, that's for sure. And it's a large we're talking about young, libertarian minded fucking million and maybe even billionaires out there that we don't even know about yet. And we're not trying to get into that space as a national political party and be the front runner of that space. Fuck off.
Listen, you need to have my friend and a guy named Guy Swan on your show. The guy has been in crypto since the very beginning. I had him on my podcast. I listened to this when I was trying to figure out Bitcoin. This guy is a Rothbardian. He's a Mises Caucus guy, and he is smart as fuck. It's called Bitcoin Audible. It's Guy Swan. And if you're trying to figure out that space, man, he's the guy to do it, to help you along, to kind of help you understand what you don't know, right? The fact that there's so much out there. But I'm telling you, if you're not in Bitcoin, you're probably missing out, because that dwindling dollar is a toxic asset at this point. And Bitcoin, it's not that Bitcoin is, like it can't obviously be inflated, but at the same time, it's just one of those things where you're hedging asset, right? Like it's property. You can't fuck with it. You can't go anywhere. It can't do anything except for be there. And what you're seeing is this, when people go, man, Bitcoin's worth $50,000 now. It was just worth 10,000 like 2 months ago. You're like, no, man, Bitcoin isn't worth $50,000. It's the fact that your money supply has been inflated by that much in the past few fucking months. Yep. Like, that's what people need to understand about what Bitcoin is in terms of a hedge. And I'll tell you what, it's going to the way of the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sure. I got into some hot water with some of my Twitter followers today because I shill altcoins sometimes, right? Like I do. I think there's some good DeFi projects out there. Money. Yeah, it's a fuck even making money. There's actual technology behind some of these tokens that I like. I like this new coin right now, this ANK or AKNR. ANKR that's like going crazy. Everyone's going crazy because it just got listed on Coinbase. Fuck, that's great that it's pumping, but the fact of the matter is they're trying to build a decentralized cloud computing source. That's fucking awesome. I like that shit. Yeah. I enjoy that. But I will say this, before you buy any altcoins, you should always own Bitcoin. Always own Bitcoin. Put some money into Bitcoin because you think $56,000 is the top, and just when you think you're at the top of Bitcoin, it doubles. That's how it's been since 2010. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it is the currency of the future.
Yeah. During 6 months, it kind of does this, but then all of a sudden it goes,
takes
and
off.
It hits that fucking rocket, man.
And going forward, I mean, this is going to be so much more valuable than this stupid fiat dollar that's dying. They are printing so much money at the Federal Reserve right now to pay you this economic stimulus that there's almost no way we're ever going to come back from this debt. There's almost no way.
No nation has ever recovered from it.
No.
Ever.
We're all going to end up eating cats on the side of the road like Venezuela, man. You know what I mean? If you got a family pet, say goodbye to it now because you're going to be eating them soon. And it just
I was going to say, feed it well.
Yeah, feed it real good. Right? Yeah.
That's so dark.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some good programs out there. There's some good technology out there behind some of these tokens that people would call shit coins. I just call them altcoins. I hate the shitcoin moniker. It's this Bitcoin elitist mentality. But I'll also tell you, yes, you should own fucking Bitcoin. It should be the first thing you put any of your money into. If you could put $100 a month into Bitcoin, that would be the smartest thing you've ever done in your entire life, ever.
If you put $100 into Bitcoin, take $10 and put it into your shit coins, right? Like it should be a 90-10 type mix, probably, if not more.
And if you find an opportunity to make yourself some extra cash to put back into Bitcoin on one of these altcoins, just do it. I'm not going to tell. This is not financial advice. Fuck you, SEC. But if you can, I don't see why not. Why wouldn't you try to make some extra dollars? Fiat dollars to transfer back into Bitcoin so that when the full-scale economic collapse comes, you are a rich person in Bitcoin. Trust me, it's a smart move.
Yeah, if you can, here's the other thing is if you can leverage a loan right now in terms of like longer type perspective, if it's a 10+ year loan or something where you can get some serious money, like history shows that if you put it into damn Bitcoin, right now, the interest and principal and everything else, man, you are more than covered in that time.
By the time you're supposed to pay that thing back, the full-scale economic collapse will have already come. That place will be out of business. You don't got to worry about it anymore. You can tell them to go fuck off. This is not financial advice. I need to make that very clear. Fuck you, SEC. But there's a lot of really, in my opinion, good projects out there that are backing some of these tokens. I get a lot of shit for that, but like I said, I will always tell you, first stop, Bitcoin. That's mama and papa, and that's where you're and you're gonna need some of that. Definitely. Hey, look, my mom's in the chat. Surprising. She's at every show. Look, I gotta be honest.
She's so disappointed that you're hanging out with me right now.
No, she's not. My mom loves you. Trust me.
What did I do?
Here's the thing. I want to explain to the 44 viewers we have live right now. My mother is the most supportive mother of all time. Mama, I love you. I can't wait to see you here in about 5 days. My mom's coming to visit me in Iowa. I'm very excited. But my mom, I played in heavy, heavy fucking metal bands, right? And my mother, in her like late 40s, would show up to every show, and stand in the front row, headbanging to this music that she does not like. You know what I mean? She tells me all the, you know. But my mom is amazing. She is in the chat for every show. Sometimes my sister's in here. I am terrified of the day when my grandmother shows up in here.
Right.
Dude, but you know, they've been very supportive of my ventures over my life. So it's
How's your grandmother, like 50?
Yeah, I wish. My grandmother is 78 years old. So next week Wednesday, actually, when I'm supposed to do my show, I may record the show early or I may not do the show. I don't know. But Tuesday, my mom, my sister, my grandma are coming.
Is she a great grandmother?
My great that is great. We'll have 5 generations in this house at one time. It'll be great grandma, which is my mother, grandpa, which is me, my daughter, which is mama, and her daughter, which is the baby.
Listen, libertarians, do like Josh Smith, reproduce and do it hard and heavy
and teach them.
Yeah, man, homeschool them, homestead, teach them all this stuff, man. You talk about force multiplication; it is on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, we got all these crazy progressives out here saying that they don't want to contribute to whiteness in this country, so they're not having babies. Great. Then we should just keep reproducing. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, purple, green. Just reproduce if you believe in liberty and teach your kids about the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They'll never have any idea. Like, I can't corrupt this guy. Like, I can't get this guy to come over to the Democrat and the Libertarian or the Democrat or the GOP. Like, why can't we get these guys to do that kind of stuff?
They're like,
it's because they're consistently principled and they haven't heard a better argument from anybody from the time that they were born until now. Like, you want to talk about, oh man, just annihilation power.
Yeah.
Like,
your kids, when the Democrats come to recruit them, should say, you guys can't recruit me because I learned about Austrian economics in a bunker underneath our house from my dad. You know what I mean? Like, teach your kids, dude.
Do you know what's really crazy, man, is when I started talking to my oldest son, probably at age 6 or 7, about Austrian economics, he was enthralled, captivated. We had an hour and a half conversation where most of the time I was getting hit with questions, and every time he would ask a question, I was just sitting there going like, wow, like to be 6 years old and to start having a better understanding of economics than probably 99% of the fucking world out there. You're sitting there going like,
but that's the thing about the
amazing.
Ideas of liberty, right? The ideas of liberty, Austrian economics, it's fucking basic common sense that you're not supposed to hurt your neighbor. You know what I mean? It's basic fucking common sense that you shouldn't steal from people. This is like the most basic shit we learn in our lives. It's so easy you can teach it to your 6-year-old, but we have people that have been in the Senate for 30 years that are doing the exact opposite. You know what I mean? It's insane.
Who was I'm trying to remember. It's the guy that Tom Woods shits on all the time with Bob Murphy.
Krugman.
Krugman, yeah.
He's such
it's not
shit.
Complicated. You don't have to make shit up about space invasions to make your economy work. Like, it's not complicated. We don't have to come up with these fucking fairy tales, although they're very interesting and great for science fiction novels. They're not real good for people in real life that are living in those conditions where you got to fake a fucking country into believing that we are being invaded by space aliens that want to take over the entire planet.
Yeah,
that's
careful.
Krugman.
Don't mention Krugman too loud. He might have to come out of the closet he's hiding in with Robert Reich, and so not that there's anything wrong with that. We're not bigots on this show. Not that there's anything wrong with
right? Like, hey, man, just tell the truth. Be good.
Yeah, it's totally cool, man. It's totally cool. But
we don't care.
Yeah, man, we're getting close to the end of the show. But I want to ask you. Okay, listen. You're not really autistic. I know that, but you got the Republicans, you got the Democrats, right? You got these people, these wonderful, upstanding, fine members of society that are running these political parties, working very hard. No, it hurts my heart to even say it.
How do you even say it?
So you have these two parties that are absolute behemoths in the political world. They're almost entirely impossible to take down because they're financial juggernauts. They run shit. They have all these jurisdictions all over the country. And one of the most badass patriot men I've ever met in my life, Shane Hazel, has chosen the Libertarian Party. Why, in God's name, the Libertarian Party?
I haven't heard a better argument. And that's the thing is, like, I think when you become understanding at some point that you didn't know shit as a person who's taken life, right? Like, I fucked up, man. And it was one of those things where when I fucked up and I saw that I had fucked up and I was, proven wrong over and over, like, hey, I got to learn. I got to stop talking, and I've got to go back to the drawing board, and I got to start asking questions, and I got to dig and dig and dig until I have a argument that's pretty profound. And it's one of those things that, listen, like, I'm one of those people that will listen to anybody, and if there's something to pick up that's irrefutable, I do it. And over the course of my lifetime, the past 41 years, nobody's presented me with a better argument than what libertarians, especially the Mises Caucus, has. And it's just kind of where I fit personality-wise anyways, is, listen, you don't hurt people, you don't take their stuff, good ideas don't require force, and that's got to be your consistent message and principle across the board. And that's why these guys I think they've been so damn successful, is because they live it, they preach it. You've got, people out there that are trying to get off the grid. They're trying to be self-sufficient, that are doing homeschool, that are investing in Bitcoin, that are, leading the charge against a behemoth, right? Like, it's, like, money and power and greed. Like, if that's your cup of tea, libertarianism is not for you, man. But I'm telling you, if you're ready for the fight, and there is no power on this earth that will keep you from being free people, libertarianism is where it's at.
Absolutely, man. I agree fully. It's the reason why I'm here too, man. I mean, literally, we could have mirrored each other's sentiments. Absolutely, 100%. Shane, I love you to death, man. You're like one of my favorite people in this movement.
Thank you.
It's not even close. Where the hell can all these wonderful people that are watching find you, sir?
You can go to radicalpod.com. That's where my show resides until I get a better fucking website. And if you're out there and you want a real job and you want to create a badass website for me, you can contact me at shane@radicalpod.com. Seriously, like, between Top Lobster, I love you, man. You should see the fucking Murray Rothbard shirt. It is. I can't wait to put this thing out there. You guys are going to fucking love it. But anyway, until then, radicalpod.com. All my links are there for all social media, the show.
Definitely follow this man on Twitter if you want to watch his war with politicians publicly.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's just going to keep on getting hotter and hotter. Outside of that, if you want to, become a patron of my show, you can go to patreon.com/radicalpod. Whatever. Just, you guys are smart enough. I mean, this bunch knows how to use the internet. Fucking Google or DuckDuckGo.
Give this
Google.
man. Yes.
Oh, he just lost me.
give the DuckDuckGo, man. Yeah, he's old as shit. Give this man your money, people. Seriously, he is doing amazing work. Give him your money. Give him your viewer hours. Help him monetize that YouTube channel, because really, dude, that's where you're going to make the money at. We try to stay there long enough to make a little money before they throw us off. I think that's that's what we do as our.
Quick question: where are you going after this?
Odyssey.
Where are you going after? What's it? Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yeah, I'm already synced up with Odyssey, so all my content now automatically goes over there.
Okay, cool. Hey, and Josh, I gotta thank you for giving me your platform. Anytime somebody gives you their platform, you should be super thankful for something like that. And Josh, I love you. I appreciate what you're doing, man, and what you're continuing to do, and what you started and grown to the point, like, keep it up, man. You're doing amazing things. I love it. I love you. And anything you ever need from me, let me know.
Thank you so much, Shane. You have a wonderful evening, sir.
Peace.
Wow, what an interview. Shane is honestly one of my favorite people. He breathes fire like I said he was going to be doing. He takes no prisoners. He gives no shits. He is a true American patriot. Everybody that's watching this show, everybody who follows me or follows Shane, if you follow me and don't follow Shane, change that immediately as soon as possible. We should aspire to be a little more like Shane in our everyday lives. I hope that you agree with me. But that was a wonderful show. So before we take off, guys, for those of you that don't know, we have a Patreon now. It's patreon.com/breakthecyclejs. I am trying to make this dream a reality, do full-time content for the movement, videos, short clips, all this cool stuff that needs to happen. We need more people doing this. I'm more than willing to do it for free, but it's also awesome to get paid. So if you can help bolster the show, there's some really cool tiers on there. You can get yourself some cool swag. There's a private Discord server with, I think 30 people now, and they're all pretty lit, man. They're pretty cool people. So please think about joining that. Definitely smash that subscribe button. As our good friend Clint from Liberty Lockdown would say, you have to smash it. You can't just hit it quietly. It's got to be a full smash. Don't break your computer though. Another shout out to Lorenzotti.coffee. All your Italian coffee needs delivered directly to your door. Bring the taste of Italy home. TopLobster.com for all your awesome graphic tees and hoodies. He's also becoming one of my best friends and is really just a partner on this show now. Just so you guys understand, he's not just a sponsor. He is a partner on this show. You can use BTC at checkout on Top Lobster and Lorenzotti Coffee to get yourself a 10% discount on any of their wonderful products. And then, of course, Anthem Planning, doing the job the government has sucked at for years, emergency and crisis planning for your business or any other needs that you need. Please find them at anthemplanning.com. You will not be let down. Let's check the schedule. Coming up, we got Senator Eric Brakey, Scott Horton, Spike Cohen, Michael Bolden, Phil Labonte, Patrick Smith, Monica Perez, and then Zuby, JJ Boogie, Adam Kokesh, Kylie McGillicuddy, and Josh Cybulski. It's going to be lit. Definitely stick around. I can't wait to see you guys on Wednesday for the next solo show. We may have a special guest, or you may just get 45 minutes of me ranting about bullshit. But until then, don't forget to break the cycle. I love y'all.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just landed in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just landed in Minecraft. Well, Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just landed in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. Nothing on me